What's going on, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, take a quick moment, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and the notification bell. On my channel, we talk it all, music, sports, news. As you see, this is an NFL video, and we're going to have a lot of NFL content coming all season. So if you're a football fan, you definitely want to make sure you're subbed, because on my channel, it's all about hearing from you guys, the people in that comment thread. So if you enjoy talking football, get up and, join the conversation. Subscribe to the channel. So we're going to cover a few things in this video here. First thing I got to just get right into is say that I'm shocked. I'm very surprised to see Jacoby Brissett getting a $30 million 2-year contract with the Colts. I mean, they're in a jam with, Andrew Luck retiring. And, real quick before I continue about Brissett, I just got to say, with Andrew Luck, I get why the fans are upset, he kind of left the team hanging, I guess, in a sense, with it being so close to the season when he decided to call it quits and retire. But, I mean, there's no shame in that to me. And the fact that he waited so long, just kind of tells me that he really was trying to have a warrior-like mentality and just keep pushing through. But he just, he couldn't do it. We know the toll that these guys, their bodies, the injuries and everything like that. And, the mental toll it takes on them as well, going through that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. You can't fault Luck for deciding that he couldn't continue and play. But at the same time, I can't fault the fans for being disappointed. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say, hey, it's cool for the fans to talk a bunch of shit and get nasty and everything about it. But I will say I get that they're disappointed. No question, man. You know what I mean? So close to the season, and you find Luck. You find out that he's retiring. I get it. But anyways, getting back to Jacoby Brissett, as I said, they're in a jam and everything like that. And Brissett was their backup because, going into this preseason, I believe it was Brissett. And if I'm wrong on anything, guys, please correct me in the comments. But you got, Brissett, Chad Kelly, and Luck. Well, now it's Brissett, Chad Kelly, who is going to start out the season suspended, for getting arrested. That's a whole nother story, man. I like Chad Kelly. I'm a diehard Bills fan. That's Jim Kelly's nephew. I think the dude is very talented. He's got a lot of off-the-field issues. We could do a whole video talking about that. And, now they've just added Brian Hoyer, who I'm going to talk a lot about in this video. So I get it and everything, but Brissett giving him that kind of money, I'm just a little surprised. Like, get in the comments, everyone. As I said, it's all about hearing from you guys. Any Colts fans out there, I especially want to hear from you guys. Are you shocked to see him get that kind of a deal? Like, I don't know. What has Brissett really showed anybody? Now, what he's been in been in the league 3 years. We know in 2016 he filled in, when Tom Brady started out the season suspended. And the game I actually remember because, he originally wasn't the guy that they originally wanted to fill in. Garoppolo actually did, but he got hurt. And Garoppolo was looking good with that offense that they were running and everything like that. Like, Garoppolo was doing his thing. And then, he got hurt, as I said, and they had to go with Jacoby Brissett. And I don't know, man. He didn't show me too much. And my Bills actually, we gave New England their only loss that year. They went 15-1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But we beat them in New England, in Foxborough. And Brissett just, I don't know, man. He just was. We shut him out too, and it was like a low-scoring affair and everything like that. And I don't know, man. I didn't see much from Brissett. And then, in the 2017 season, he ended up playing a lot with the Colts because Luck was hurt that year. And I mean, he did pass for over 3,000 yards, 3,098 yards. They went 4-12. I don't know. I mean, a lot was on the defense, I guess you could say. I'm not a Colts fan, but I do remember, I keep up on football, guys. I love the NFL. I'm sorry, I love football. I love football season. I shouldn't say I love the NFL because there's a whole lot, that could stand for as far as like politics and everything. But I love the sport. I love when it's football season. It's the greatest time of the year, if you ask me. And so, like I said, it's going to have a lot of football content all season. So make sure you guys stay, interacting and commenting on these videos. But I don't know. So, then he goes 4-12. And I don't know. Altogether, the guy's got 3,500 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 336 yards rushing and 5 rushing touchdowns. So, I mean, I get it. He does kind of, have a dual threat. The guy can run a little bit, but I'm just surprised to see him get this kind of money. Now, what I'm talking about in this video, as I said, I'm going to talk a lot about Brian Hoyer. As you see, they just added him, and he will be the backup when Chad Kelly comes back from suspension. I don't know, who will have the number 2 job. But, basically what I wanted to say on this video was talk a little bit about Brian Hoyer as a journeyman quarterback, you know what I mean, and talk about some other journeyman QBs that we've seen out there, and just want to hear what you guys think about Hoyer, and if you think Hoyer will end up, starting at some point this season. Like I said, I don't know if Hoyer will stay the backup, or you know what I mean. When Chad Kelly comes back, he'll be the backup. I'm not sure, but what do you guys think? With Jacoby Brissett, do you see him, being benched? Do you see Who do you see as the backup between Hoyer and Chad Kelly? And I mean, what do you guys think? It's got to be a crazy year to be a Colts fan. Like I said, you're I'll call him a star quarterback because Luck was a hell of a quarterback. He just retires out of nowhere, and you're left with a bunch of guys that I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know that Brissett or any of these other guys would start on any other team in the NFL, or even be the backup on any other team in the NFL. These guys are, I mean, I don't know. Like Hoyer has a lot more experience, and as I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about him. What do you guys think about Brian Hoyer? Journeyman. He's been all over the league. As I said, the man has been in the league a long time. And, he did go undrafted in 2009. He was the backup with the Patriots. And in 2011, they even drafted Ryan Mallett, who, at the time, there was a lot of talk about Mallett was one of the best QBs, coming in that draft class with quarterbacks in the draft class, and they still went with Hoyer as the backup. And then he later was cut after the season, and he in 2012 Pittsburgh snatched him up really late in the season, due to some injuries with Big Ben. Then they just had him as a backup, cut him. He went with Arizona, I believe, played a game with them. But then 2013 is the year where Hoyer was showing, some promise that he could maybe be a starter in the league, as Brandon Weeden was the Browns starter, and he went down with injury, and Hoyer came in and won like really nice numbers passing, 321 yards, and 3 touchdowns, 269 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And, there was all this talk, if you guys remember at that time, Brian Hoyer, this guy, he should be the starter with Cleveland. As I said, this is 2013. Weeden goes down with injury. Hoyer comes in and wins a couple games. And then they start talking about, well, he was Brady's backup. He probably learned a lot over there. And he was looking good with Cleveland, but it all came to an end. You guys may remember this. I, of course, do, because it was against my Buffalo Bills. And it was a player that at the time I loved this guy, Kiko Alonso. His rookie year, he started for us. He played every down, every defensive snap that year. And then, he got hurt in the preseason the following year when he was like working out. back in Oregon, I believe. And then we traded him for Shady McCoy, who was just cut. But anyways, he folded him up, man, helmet to helmet, and injured him. And, he did come back and play some games later that year. But at that time, all the momentum, was with Hoyer. He was looking good. And, he was the starter. He was winning some games. Kiko ended that. And I got to say, man, Kiko Alonso, how I said at the time I loved him, I do not care for that dude anymore, man. He's such a cheap shot artist. He really is. And the Dolphins just traded him somewhere. I'm not sure where he ended up. But then, jump ahead to 2014. As I said, Johnny Manziel got drafted. And Hoyer still won the starting job. And in, not a good season really for him. And in week 11, they benched him. And after that, him and Manziel split starting time. Manziel looked horrible. It was just terrible in Cleveland. And I remember, that year, as I said, this is 2014. There was just all this talk about how the Browns had like a first round pick. They had all these different first round or, high in the draft picks. Some of them number one overall picks. And none of the guys were even on the team anymore. Like, I don't know, man. Now the Browns are getting hyped up again. I don't know, man. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. That's just a prediction by me. But let's jump ahead to his 2015 season. He ended up in Houston and was, back. Ryan Mallett was a quarterback there. As I said, they were teammates in New England. And, he was starting and he got benched at one point in time, but, he came back, won some games, and he actually brought the team to the playoffs. They won the AFC South that year. I believe they had a weak record, but when he got his chance to shine, it wasn't so good because he threw 136 yards and 4 interceptions in the wild card game, and they lost. And I believe, yes, that year, as I said, he was competing with Mallett, and it was just not a great year for them. But you know what I mean? They ended up making the playoffs. Like I said, it was a weak division. So then let's jump ahead to the 2016 season. Hoyer spent with Chicago. Week 2, Jay Cutler got hurt, and he won it. Hoyer came in and played some games again and looked good, man, and even put up a career-high 397 yards in a game, but he broke his arm. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say here. Like, if we do a quick recap of this, well, look, like I said, 2010 and 11, he's a backup with the Patriots, doesn't really play. He gets cut in 2012. Goes to Pittsburgh and Arizona, sees a little action, but basically just gets the job due to injuries. 2013 was the year, like I said. It was early in the season. He was looking good when Brandon Whedon went down, and then he gets hurt because of Kiko Alonso, and he was showing some promise, showing that he could play. And, like I said, jump ahead to 2015, he looks like shit in the playoffs. They lose. But in 2016 with Chicago, he's showing, hey, I still got some game when Cutler gets hurt. And then, boom, he gets injured again there. So I'm not saying Hoyer's a great QB. I'm just saying let's jump ahead to 2017 when he played with San Fran. He looked pretty bad. They were 0-5, and he got benched. And, later on, Garoppolo came in and, they ended up cutting him. They acquired Garoppolo through trade. Now, what's kind of crazy with that is the Patriots traded Garoppolo to San Fran. Hoyer's with San Fran. He ends up getting cut. Then the Patriots sign him as the backup. And fast forward ahead, that's where he was last year, backing up Brady again, now Indianapolis. So, I don't know, man. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think that Jacoby Brissett is going to go out there and play well? Or do you think, what do you think of Hoyer, as I just said, over this stretch of these years as a journeyman quarterback? He has shown some talent. He's shown he can choke. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a great quarterback, but I don't know, man. I don't think Jacoby Brissett can really, has got what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. I don't know. But as I got to say, it's just got to be tough to be a Colts fan. You know what I mean? You have to think that maybe they knew about Luck's injuries. I don't know. But if they would have known what was going on with Luck, that maybe he was even, going to not play, going to retire like this, they maybe would have went and made some other arrangements, maybe try to make a trade or be more aggressive in the draft. I don't know. There wasn't really, many really great quarterbacks in the draft this year, if you ask me. But now, this is what they got: Jacoby Brissett, Brian Hoyer, and Chad Kelly. Who do you guys predict will see action as a starter, with the Colts? But who knows? Injuries could happen, whatever. But I don't know. What do you guys think of Brian Hoyer? What do you think of Indy as a team and everything? I'm really interested to know. So tap in the comments. Just kind of a video I wanted to make here, guys. What really caught my attention by this whole thing was that Brissett got that kind of money. I can't believe it, man. But that's all I really got. It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys on the next video. As I said, we're going to be talking to NFL football talk all season long. Don't miss out. I'm out of here, guys. Peace. Subscribe.